Hey y'all, I got to give a disclaimer before y'all watch this episode. So, I filmed 2 episodes in the same day. So, next to Street Widow podcast episodes that y'all see was my very first time filming and editing my own content. Your girl been trying to save on them coins. So, I'm trying to learn how to be self sufficient, okay? So, y'all bear with me. Let me tell y'all what happened. I thought I was doing good. I was so proud of myself. I bought me a new camera. I got my mic set up. Bing bang. Tell me why I go to edit and I shot the whole thing in slow mo. So I lost my audio, y'all. So I had to make it do what it do with the backup audio. So y'all just hang in there with me, okay? I promise. I promise I won't ever make that mistake no more because I was sitting there crying. Okay, so yeah, just really, really good content. It's a dope conversation with 2 black men. Like, I love this conversation. Um, y'all just got to get past the little audio issues. Okay, all right. I love y'all for watching. Peace. Welcome to Street Widows Podcast, where we heal in public so those healing in private can keep going. Today, I'm here with Brandon and Canon.
Yeah, that's it.
Big Canon.
Big
Big Canon.
Canon.
Look
Okay.
Canon. Look Canon finna come home.
So let me tell y'all, I don't know Brandon or Canon from a can of paint. We got connected, and I've been wanting to have this conversation amongst men about grief and just loss to the streets. And so that's what we're going to do today. Thank y'all for being here. I appreciate y'all. And yeah, we're going to kick it off with a little widow talk.
Okay.
Y'all ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, Brandon's up first.
Okay. What have you produced from your pain? What have I produced? I learned with pain comes gain. You know what I'm saying? You got to go through pain to, overcome, life obstacles. You know what I'm saying? Day to day things. You got to have pain. Without pain, you're not going to understand. Like, if you don't have pain, you're not going to understand what pain is. You know what I'm saying? So, definitely learned a lot about pain. What I done produced from it, strength, you know what I'm saying, to get hope, you know what I'm saying, with that they be messed up, you know what I'm saying? Life be life. Yeah, life be life, and so it just be like, fuck. But, I done been through so much though, so, like, what's the worst that can happen? You know what I'm saying? I done already done been through everything. But then, like, it's just strength for real. I done strength from that pain, most stuff.
You got something to piggyback off of that?
That's the truth because you got to be strong in order to endure pain. So I've dealt with my fair share of pain, and I dealt with a lot of it while I was incarcerated. In the midst of a 4-year sentence, I started losing. I lost my grandmother. About a year later, my brother. Less than 90 days after that, my grandfather. And it was hitting me, and I was just, don't send me no obituaries. I don't want none of that shit. I can't deal with that right now. This is what I got. I'm still in the law library trying to see if I can't get some of this time back. So that pain that hits, it's hard when you have to suppress it. I had to deal with that after I gave them a little over 10 years. And when I came home, all those deaths I had to deal with. I walked in my mama's house and walking down the hall to see her, my brother on the wall. I didn't get to go to that funeral. I missed all that. So my grandparents, as I'm going through things and get to run across obituaries. So that pain was, you have to be strong in order to endure.
Oh,
You
you gotta be
you
strong,
gotta be strong.
That's why I understand why people, when they go through pain, some people can't take it. You know what I'm saying? And they do other things. They go to drugs, suicide and stuff because they haven't learned how to cope with their pain and they ain't been through nothing to know that they're gonna get through it. And it's just temporary. It's just temporary. Pain's just temporary. Like, it's gonna get greater later for sure. You know what I'm saying? Got to. Got to.
Okay, Kanai.
What's changed about you the most? I think the biggest change for me has been my perception of what manhood is. That changed greatly while I was incarcerated. And I started looking back on the mistakes. It's a line in The Godfather where Don says, women and children can make mistakes, men cannot. And I understand that because as a man, you have to lead your family. And even though I was out there doing what I needed to do to provide for them, I put myself in a position to be derelict in my greatest duty, and that's being a father. And in my absence, when I sit back and I have to, and he knows greatly, the courses that my offspring went in my absence. And as I often say, anytime you're the cause of your offspring's destruction, that hits a whole different way. So my manhood wasn't that facing a life sentence I don't tell on somebody. My manhood isn't about how many women I slept with. My manhood has to be measured by me doing my greatest father. And I think too often our boys, we have a false perception of what manhood is. Those are the images we have. We look up to the guys in the street. And we hear them. We see the women drawn to them. But boy, don't like girls. And this is what gets the attention. Oh, he's the man. He got money and women, drives nice cars. Everything is about. So that's been the biggest change for me.
Let me ask you a question, piggybacking off of that. How do you feel, or not even how do you feel, but maybe what do you think about the young men who see that and make a choice to follow that?
More so, just to deviate a little bit, I like to say product of my country. I'm not a product of my environment.
I like that.
We carry the same things as this country.
Yep.
But aside from that, I think that we're a product of it. Granted, you have a choice, but I'm going to use me for instance. I was a mild meat chop. I wasn't into fighting. I was just a good kid. I was small. All I wanted to do was meet girls and play football. But eventually, because of what I was subjected to, I wasn't a mature 14, 15-year-old. So my parental guidance was more needed than, say, a kid who's 14 and 15. He may be already growing his beard. His maturity level has reached a certain point. So it differs because individuality always plays a role. I can't look at somebody and say, "Dog, you can just start driving trucks. You ain't got to keep selling dope. You can keep doing this." And because I was able to do it, I act like I don't understand what they're doing. You have those journeys, make a difference. So I can't just say you had a choice. We don't know, because growing up the way a lot of us grow up is traumatic. Whether people want to, when I know for a fact in this man's situation, in a life and death situation, they praise heroes every day, as they should, police officers and things that run to danger. That's what he did. In a case, run to danger. But we have to ask ourselves as a country, you praise your veterans that do this every day that y'all have trained. What about your citizens that you put in position that they do this on instinct to run to danger? I mean, so no, that's not just no choice. When your mind is conditioned in a certain way, I mean, it takes something to break that. And for me, it was once I saw my son walking in my destructive footprint.
People can only understand what they've been through, or maybe what they've seen someone experience in like a secondhand matter. But if you're talking to somebody who ain't never stepped foot in the West End of Louisville, from Louisville, born and raised, ain't never stepped foot in the West End, but seen sprinkles of black people in their schools, it's 2 black people in the class here, 3 there. They don't get it, and it's easy for people to pass judgment and think they know a solution to a problem, when, to your point of like, I'm a product of my country, we didn't create this environment for ourselves. Yeah, I like that. That's where it started at.
That's where it started at.
They did this to us and then criminalized us. Yeah. I love that. I'm gonna take that. Can I take that? Taking that for sure. Okay, Brendan, what card you got up next?
If your person walked in right now, what would they say about
And who is that person? You got a smile on your face as you read that.
you? Say that person.
Yeah, who's that person
She
you
passed away last year. My mama. You know what I'm
sorry to
saying?
hear that.
But she was like, you made it. You know, made it. 'Cause I was going through a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? Fighting the Fed case. You know what I'm saying? All kinds of stuff. She definitely tell me, you know, she's happy. You know what I'm saying? I done came a long way. You know what I'm saying? I'm still here, still breathing. I'm a little way better than I did last year. I'm focused. You know, I'm doing other things that I, you know, never thought about doing. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah. Shout out to Mama. What's your mama's name?
Jocelyn.
Jocelyn. Shout out to Miss Jocelyn. Look at your boy. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
What's been your most joyous moment since losing your person? Well, in that sense, my person would be my brother, my oldest brother that I lost while I was gone.
How much older?
4 years. So we were extremely close. When I say close, I'm talking we were actually in the hole together at one point doing our federal bid. But that was my man. We did everything. I lost him. But since then, I guess the most joyous moment was probably when I first laid eyes on my grandson. My daughter just had her first child in June. And when I saw him, I just saw hope. Because the vision that I have for my Harper lineage. And I see that it can happen there. That was just, every time I go see him, I'm just get him and go somewhere, sit down, just
smiling like you are now, talking about him. I love that.
What do you miss most about your person? I definitely read this one. But now though, man, that's that love. You know what I'm saying? That real love that you ain't gonna get unless you get it from your mama. You know what I'm saying? That real love, loyalty. You know what I'm saying? That was my best friend. I lost my two best friends, you know, in the streets. You know, it was we all lived out here. You know, Canon, well not Canon, but Kenny and Rob. You know what I'm saying? They both got killed in the past few years. But my mama was like, she been with me through everything. You know what I'm saying? All the pain, all the struggles, every single thing. You know, when I was young, getting in trouble. You know, so just miss that real love and loyalty, that person I can call, talk to. You know what I'm saying? Man, because all my people is dead and locked up for real, for real. You know what I'm saying? Loyalty, man. Loyalty. Loyalty, I value everything for sure.
I was gonna save this for later, but since we're here, how do you feel that grief differs, losing people to the streets versus any other way? Like, what do you think is different about it?
Because, you know, they had a medical problem or, you know, it's all unfortunate, but in the streets, though, it's just like, man, like, could have did better. You know what I'm saying? We still had a lot to do, you know, just choices. Life is about choices. You gotta accept them. You know what I'm saying? It really is. You know, like what y'all was saying. I do believe that you know the environment and stuff do play a factor. You know, we wasn't going through poverty and a lot of if we weren't going through poverty, a lot of stuff that's going on, a lot of these killings and stuff wouldn't even be happening right now. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers just stressed out. You know what I'm saying? Everybody trying to get some money. Everybody just that's really what it is, and it's that money for real. You know what I'm saying? That's a big thing. It's that money, and they try to hide it from us. You know, so they're trying to get it by any means. If it's taking it from you, you know what I'm saying? Destroying our community, you know what I'm saying? By selling drugs and doing other things, you know what I'm saying?
doing it. And it's going to keep on going. That's what they want. It's a system. Recidivism. You know what I'm saying? Exactly what they do to it, man. It's body system that they already got going on. You just got to be smarter than that. And so, wisdom.
Mm-hmm. Preschool to penitentiary pipeline. Yeah. And as long as penitentiaries are for profit, it's gonna keep going, right? Why would it not? 9. Your turn.
What was your question? What do you miss?
Now you want to piggyback off a question. No, you can. You can though.
No, it's pretty much the same thing. Unconditional love.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not looked down on. Miss that. What wrong thing have people said to you? I guess probably one of the worst things was officer thinking that I was gonna be back locked up.
Mm.
That was we said you back confident. We'll see you later. But that wasn't happening.
And how did it make you feel?
A lot of times when I was dealing with what I was dealing with, when I was locked up, I was just angry that I had put myself in a position to let people who I felt were speak to me in a certain way, look at me a certain way. And I understood what the big plan that's been put in place. So I always say my actions were even more criminal because I knew better. You can take some people that they don't, you just try to get some money. You know that these people have put this out there for you. It's kind of like those, they lay them traps for them. Some gonna look at that trap and they gonna be like, that ain't good food. And they gonna go in the wilderness. And then you gonna come out there, you're gonna see one hen or something, he gonna be wolf or something be snatched up. He got a little too inquisitive. He big. And that's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I speak from a position of having seen when they unleashed the crack era on us. And that's the one I think that they said that was checkmate on our people. Once they were able to do that, it was checkmate because so much, it was so many tentacles that came from that. You got the crime bill that came from it. You rewrote those drug laws and started making that criminal when you lock them up for the crack. The big disparity in the crack cocaine and the powder cocaine. It was a lot came from that. And one thing I can say about Europeans in America that run this place, they sharp and quick on their feet. They unleash crack on us, supposed to destroy it. What they didn't bank on, young black dudes get money. Now kids is going to private school. Now you looking up dudes from the inner cities getting their kids up out of the ghettos and trying to get them a better way of life. They didn't account for that. So once they seen that, oh, okay, we know this. Lock them up. Even then somebody else said better than that, we're going to get money for locking them up. We're going to bust open some prisons. We're going to put that on the stock exchange.
Yeah. That's real though.
That's how they did it.
Yeah.
So that's why I say it made it, because I understood all of that. And I still let them get their money off. 20 years worth.
And ultimately, what was it that even though you understood, you still made the choice to do?
I didn't have the mental fortitude to deal with the hardships I was facing. I chose the path of least resistance.
And what were those hardships?
Not having. Feeling like I came to realize at a certain point that I had low self-esteem, so I needed certain attention to validate me. I hadn't fallen in love with myself yet, so I needed that stuff, and I allowed that stuff to just pull me down. Like now, a car that shit ain't nothing. And now I'm thinking long term. And I tell my ex-wife, the way I'm looking, me and her won't see the benefits what happened with our grandkids. It'll be completely different. We won't hope they succeed. They expect us It's instilled and passed on.
And what do you, thinking back to when you made these decisions, what could have, in very realistically, not like we got $1 million, but like what supports could you and or your family had that would have maybe helped you not to make those decisions?
Oh, for me, it was simple. All I needed to do was come up in a home that wasn't headed by a recovering crack. Well, my mother, she was a crack addict at the time. So I grew up in a house where my mom smoked, getting high. My brother was selling dope out the house. We was fighting pits in the living room. That's how it was. I can remember the time my brother taking the doors off his bedroom doors as partitions, keeping the dogs in the room. We had dogs all through the house. Mama wasn't there. Mama come in the house. She be gone 4-5 days. She come in there pissed off, look around, cussing and clean this motherfucker up. Next thing you know, you hear the door slam. Boom. We wash dishes. Bro wash dishes. He ain't tripping. He understands the routine better than me at that time.
And this is your big brother who you've been talking about.
So that became normal. So when you go to normalize some shit like that, you can't, it ain't no telling which way you gonna go in life.
Yeah.
So for me, all I needed, like I said, wasn't in to get in trouble. So all I needed was a responsible adult. I think I would have turned out pretty good. Now, my brother, dog was just on that.
Yeah.
But I would.
And see, that's what a lot of people don't understand. And even with that, let's kind of dig deeper into that, right? So let's say the circumstances are what they are. In light of that, do you think there's support you could have gotten in school that would have counteracted that? Do you think there's support you could have had in your community that would have counteracted any of what you were dealing with at home?
I don't think so for me. And the reason I say that is because of all the support that I did get. It was, my grandparents would do anything. My little league football coaches, in retrospect, I'm sure they understood what my home life probably was like. But I could go home with them on weekends to go to the games sometimes. So I think people, gave me as much support. Even in high school, I can remember going home with my partner Dre and Jean because I could eat over here. And Leslie, that was their mother. She never made me feel like, oh, here he comes again. So I did have that. Eventually, it did get to a point where it was just poor choices. But again, I really just didn't know anything else because of what I had been seeing growing up. And I had no direction, hadn't been led in any real direction. I'm growing up in a house where my mother's smoking crack and my brother's selling it. Add that to the fact that I was a kid, not a mature kid. So an immature kid having to make adult decisions too fast is a little more detrimental than a mature kid. Although neither should have to, make them.
Absolutely. And I wanted to ask those questions because people will say, oh, well, the kids need this and the kids need this. And I'm like, if y'all not taking care of the mamas, not that the rest of it doesn't matter, kind of don't. Because the mother is the staple of the household. And even if it's two parents, what they say, happy wife, happy life. If the mama is not healthy, mentally taken care of, she's gonna put hell on that man. And then the whole family, the whole unit is chaotic. So I'm in spaces and I'm like, well, Ashley, what do you think that the kids need? I think the kids need support for the mothers that's raising them without the fathers is what I think they need. Okay, well, we got 2 more cards. One more.
I got one more.
One more? Okay.
What
you got? Honesty is the best policy.
What makes you angry and how do you deal with those feelings? Finally got a rewatch. But yeah,
chill, man.
Yeah, go to the chill. I don't know what really makes me angry is, in the sense of a level of foolishness, when things can be pointed out and explained and there's evidence there, and you just it's just kind of, it's hard for me to explain. There's just a lot of situations I run into in my life, and they just in the situation that just really anger me. And the way to deal with it for me is just shut up. I don't say nothing because I know that I can get to a point where my words can get to being bad and can hurt feelings. And I've learned that people don't always like me. I want a person to say to me, "Well, if you notice something wrong, as long as I know that you're the loved one and you're coming at me from a place of love, I'm not gonna jump defensive." But that's not the case most of the time. People automatically think you're saying something to them to So I've learned to just shut up. Just don't say nothing.
I need to learn how to shut up then.
As my God, I just shut the fuck up. And that's what me and her, we'll talk to each other. She say, I was listening to him, I just shut the fuck up. I said, that's what I do. I just shut up. That's the best thing to do.
It's like I be wanting to save people from themselves, but it's like you can't. Everybody got to learn by experience. That's the only way you can learn. Really, we was talking about that the other day. That's the only way you really can learn. Somebody can tell you the stove is hot, the stove is hot, the stove is hot, but what you gotta do? Touch it.
Yeah. I had to go through it growing up to be who I am now. I had to. My mom was telling me, "Don't get in the system. Get in the system, you better get out. This and this." And I was like, whatever. And I just kept on until you get to a point, we done everybody dead and did so much time, lost a lot of time out here, doing stuff that your peers, at school and stuff were doing, so you didn't get to experience. And just look up, just like, damn, but everybody gone. That's what my mama told me. Like, this is, you know what I'm saying? And you got police trying to set you up and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, bad, man. But yeah, you definitely got to experience. You got to go through it. That's another thing that I feel like all the little young dudes out here now, they ain't been through nothing for it. You know what I'm saying? They ain't been locked up, looking at life sentences. Not yet. You know what I'm saying? But when it be too late. And if you ain't got the right wisdom to get out them situations, and help yourself, then it's over with. You know what I'm saying? It can be over with for them, but people ain't really been through too much yet. You gotta go through experience to get to a certain point in life.
Yeah, unfortunate. I try to use a lot of logic too when I talk to them. Cause I'm like, when I sat back and thought about it, I said, every time when you in the streets, every time you go do something, the stars got a line for you, 100%, every single time. Now, just from a common sense standpoint, I know that nothing is 100%.
Yeah.
So at every time that you go sell some dope, get robbed, rob somebody, rob a bank, a dope house, or any of that type of stuff, when you go do that, the stars got a line perfectly for you. Because like the lick that my son went on that got him in trouble, had he ran in there on people like me and my friends, prison wouldn't have been the thing. Yeah. So the stars aligned for him to a certain extent that day. Only to a certain extent. Now, he chose to handle his case a little differently than Brad did it. We see.
We're on the same page.
But that's neither here nor there. But the stars have to align for you perfectly every time. They don't. I don't care how many times you get away. All they need to do is catch you one time. Odds is in their favor. Resources in their favor. Agenda.
Yeah. Well, and even deeper than that, even if the stars align for you every time and you get away with whatever the fuck you get away with, karma ain't no outrunning God, ain't no outrunning karma, ain't no outrunning the energy that you put out.
I believe it until I'm saying, now I look back I do everything good now, man. I don't want to know, man. I ain't stealing, I ain't doing nothing. Because I think that's what started it. You know, my journey. I used to steal a lot, you know what I'm saying? And then stealing turning to robbing, you know what I'm saying? And it's just crazy, man, you know, and I think,
Can't outrun it.
Gotta hit you. It's gonna hit you, but I think it can go through other people too. You know what I'm saying? People around you. I believe it just, but it's still gonna affect you.
Yep.
But cause I'll be like, boom, I done lost a lot of people. I lost some good people. I lost some good people, man. People that ain't never did nothing. Ain't never did nothing, hurt nobody or nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'll be like asking, God, like, why? You know what I'm saying? Why not me? Because I'm the one that have been through everything. You know what I'm saying? So I think it'd be that too.
Thank y'all for playing Widow Talk with me. Now I know some things about y'all, okay? There is usually an anger that comes first, right, with grief. There's actually a cycle of grief, and anger is one of those cycles, and it's usually the first one. Denial, falling in hand with that. When you all have lost people to the streets, what do you do with that anger? If you looking at a 16-year-old boy whose friend was just killed and he feel like he want to go do something about that, what do you tell him on how to deal with those feelings and not crash out in trying to deal with those feelings?
That's deep right there.
Yeah, because them feelings don't just go away. Our young men are dealing with loyalty. And this is my nigga right here. I gotta do something about that, or that says something about me.
And that's really not the right thing to do, man. But at the end of the day, I see where people be coming from because it's anger. It's just anger in the heart. You know what I'm saying? Just be like, this is gonna be my get back. You know what I'm saying? Trying to, but that's not the right thing to do though. Because God didn't make us. You know what I'm saying? He didn't make us to kill each other. Ain't nobody kill each other. You know, even these wars and stuff that we ain't supposed to be going over killing them people. Ain't supposed to be coming over killing us. You know what I'm saying? But it's just what the country is just what they done made it out to be. You know what I'm saying? Like they do it for free. You do it over here. You do it over here. You going to jail. You know what I'm saying? You going to jail. You get caught. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's a pain, man. That I struggled with growing up. You know, I lost people, in the streets. You know what I'm saying?
What could somebody have said to you?
Is there anything?
Time, that's what I'm saying. You ain't got nobody that ain't gonna say nothing to you. You ain't got no father figure. Somebody's gonna be like, nah, man, it's over. It's out there. You know what I'm saying? It's out there.
That boys in the hood moment.
Something like that. You know what I'm saying?
That came from him having his own
live. So what I hear you say is it got to be somebody who you respect. Or maybe you don't respect your, like, what is it? Because you say, like, if you don't have your old man there to grab you up, is that who it has to be? Taking that even deeper, can it be a woman?
Or it can just be within, or it can just, it could be a woman too. It could be a woman. It could be you. You can be like, man, I ain't even about this life. I ain't gonna lie, I can't even do nothing about it. I'm done with it. Yeah, I'm done with it. You know what I'm saying? It's really within you. You know what I'm saying? It's within you and how you really feel on what you see yourself as, and but like I said, it's not right.
And I say that we're having this thought in mind of, like, right now the city has a like violence prevention coalition. Yeah, coalition that they doing, and they got people going out to speak to. They got people, impacted people, which is all of us, speaking to these young kids who they know are already gang related to say, I did that and this is how it worked out for me. Or to have the mother who lost her son come to this young man's house and say, this is what I went through losing my son. Don't put your mama through this. Does any of it matter?
Unfortunately, it's my belief that the biggest impacts that we will have will be our parents. That's what our kids look up. A lot of, like, me growing up, we was wearing red, black, and green tags because that's what X Clan was wearing. Them was the rappers we was listening to. You could listen to KRS-One and help you cheat on a test. You know, the music was so much different. Now with the promoting, the salaciousness with the women, and the bragging about being junkies, and as they're growing, that's the thing to do. That, you know, so they're not gonna listen to me. They don't care how much time I've done. Now they look at me like, you old. Oh, you just, oh, I finally got smart. I'm trying to help you get smart before you turn 50. You know, so unfortunately, we don't have any role models in the area where our kids respect people. Yes. I heard when your cousin said that, what was it? Earlier. That's the first time I been serious. Like, they telling me about this chick, so my cousin, he tell me, say, pull her up on YouTube. So I pulled this video up and I'm looking, I'm like, so this is what our girls are looking at. You know,
I ain't gonna lie, I cringe when I see her out there pregnant with basically panties on in a tank top twerking. It makes me cringe. But the other, and that's what and that's what I was gonna say. The other side of it is she's just being her. Yeah. She's just being her. And so when people say like, oh, you know, like the female rappers are dominating and this is what it is, it's like, may there be a higher hand that's like perpetrating this agenda? Yes, right. But on the other end, we all know chicks from the hood that's how they are. Like that's real. That's not manufactured to make our kids be a certain way. That's what's out here.
But they just push it. But that's what they push them because that's what they know people want to hear.
If this is what we buy, why would somebody push something that doesn't sell?
They know it's not.
But it's gonna be like that even in movies. Before we even get to talking about music, it's always the sex, murder, and mayhem is what's gonna, be popular. It's just they saw means that it helped with an agenda that they had even more. Like I was saying, you won't hear no rappers like what I was just talking about rapping today with no label push them. Mm-hmm. Who want to hear somebody say anything positive? They don't want to hear no woman. Queen Latifah, if she was trying to break through today, she'd be hit. I ain't never seen her cleavage. I ain't seen Latifah's cleavage yet, but she was successful. But our black girls, they don't have those women that they look up to. They look up to these other women who think everything that's inauthentic is what's popular. Your eyelashes, your body. At no point do we have anything that's pushing a message of self-love. And remember, I told you I
see it more now.
But you remember I said I was messed up because I hadn't fell in love with self. That's what we deal with as a people. And we don't have no love. So that's why we don't take care of ourselves. And I ain't gonna go on no health kick, but I'm just talking about the poison we put in our body. They putting fentanyl on weed. How stupid can you be? Why you want to kill your clientele? That's the ignorance that we have growing up now, So our entertainers are the thing that we need to help us, unfortunately. It's like this heartache that you feel, I can only empathize with. But you could go sit down and there's some young black girls that unfortunately they might be like, she a girl, I would have just had to just keep it pushing. And that would be just ignorant. But that's because that's what the environment she's growing up in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You ain't said nothing wrong. I'm with you when you're right. So y'all, it's been almost an hour already. So we are going to wrap. I want to first thank y'all for coming on to the podcast today. And I want to ask y'all if y'all have like any final words or like a message that you would like to leave with anybody who watches.
Stay focused. You know, we go through pain. You know, but people that make it out the pain, they show who's really strong. You know, and, stay focused. Keep going. Believe in yourself. Find your true self. Health is wealth, man. Body by be washed. Yeah, get everything personal training. You know, we do music. We're trying to write books. Grown man publishing. You know, podcasts, all that journalism, all that. Let's get it.
Yes, sir.
I think all I'm gonna say is, for motivation, ask yourself, are you happy with your life? And if your answer is no,
my final question for y'all: tell me what you thought on your way coming here. Like,
I was going with the flow. I'm ready to go in here. I ain't never did nothing like this. We're going there and talk. Cause I do this. I talk, you know, about all everything I've been through. You know, because I'm a higher from it. It just made me who I am today.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So honestly, just like I'm going here and get it wherever it go. We're gonna keep going. You know what I'm saying?
what was your expectation? I just he had called me one day and told me, you know, he wanted me to come through with him, and that was it. And I'll see it.
Mm-hmm. So once you got here, what was you thinking?
I think once I seen the setup and you began to talk, I began to feel like, okay, this is something that might be onto something, you know, because you know you don't want to just be having it like, man, go check out this little, you know. Now I don't have no problem hitting my TikTok like, hey, you know what I mean? Check this out.
No, that's dope. I appreciate that. You know, a lot of people be nervous, and so once they get here, they're like, "Oh, okay, it's cool." Like, I didn't know what to expect, so I just like to get people's like reaction. So, thank y'all for coming on. It's Street Widows Podcast, where we heal in public, so those healing in private can keep going. And we out till next time.